Hello and welcome to How Not to Play, the channel where I draft magic badly. Today is our first quick draft for Murders at Karlov Manor. Of note, this is also the first draft that they are using play boosters on Arena. So we're actually probably going to see multiple rares per pack and an overall general higher power level to the decks. So that should be interesting to see how these drafts differ from drafts that we've done before. But to heck with that, let's get into the cards. Alright, so our first pack does not have multiple rares. All we've got is Hunted Bone Brute. A 6/2 menace for 3. ETB opponent creates 2 doggos, and when it dies, each opponent loses 3 life. Okay, only when it enters the battlefield, though. So if you cast it for its disguise and then flip it, then that's a whole lot better. So that's what we'd be looking at to do with this card, is not straight up cast it because opponent gets 2 dogs that can then block the Bone Brute and kill it. We want to disguise it and then flip it. If you're not familiar with the disguise mechanic, it is new to Murders at Karlov Manor. However, it is very similar to the old morph mechanic, in that you can play it face down for 3 mana. It is a 2/2 creature, but with Disguise, it now gets powered up with Ward 2. So they are going to be a lot harder for opponents to interact with. So we're going to go ahead and take Bone Brute and be looking at possibly a Disguise deck. So pack 2, we did not get a rare passed to us, so we're just kind of going to keep on going with our black. When he enters the battlefield, suspect a target creature you control. Suspect is another new mechanic in Murders at Karlov Manor. Essentially, it gives menace and the inability to block. So it's a very aggressive mechanic. I don't really know how well it's going to factor into our disguise deck, though. Gleaming Gear Drake is our signpost for Izzet, who cares about artifacts being sacrificed, namely clue tokens, but honestly, any artifact is good. Case of the Shattered Pact is another new enchantment type, very similar to sagas that we've seen before. When a case enters the battlefield, it has this first text box that triggers. So, for example, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. So, being colorless, you can put this in any deck to help splash or to help fix your mana base. Each case has a middle box, which is the solve condition. So if there are 5 colors among permanents you control, this case becomes solved at the beginning of your end step. And once a case is solved, then that final box becomes active. In this case, at the beginning of combat, target creature you control gains word soup. So we are going to probably pass on this. I'm not looking at playing a 5-color deck right now, so I think we'll go ahead and pass on that, but it is important to know that there are cases in all 5 colors at both uncommon and rare, so definitely be on the lookout for those in your drafts. The only other black card here is Unscrupulous Agent. When it enters the battlefield, the opponent exiles a card from their hand. Hand disruption is always good. On turn 2 is fine, because then Bone Brute would come down on turn 3 as the disguise creature. So I think that's an okay pick here. The only other card I might really be tempted to get in this pack is going to be Makeshift Binding. This is an Oblivion Ring effect. When it enters the battlefield, it exiles a creature an opponent controls. On the plus side, you also gain 2 life. Removal is always good and always at a premium, so honestly, I think I might just take this anyway. But more specifically, the white-black archetype cares about cloaked creatures or disguised creatures or just any creature with power 2 or less. So these are both going to be very good picks for our deck. I think since I am already committed to black, I don't want to commit to black-white right now. So I think we're going to go ahead and take the Unscrupulous Agent, even though Makeshift Binding might be the better pick. Lead Pipe is a clue equipment. We're going to see one of these in each color at uncommon. Honestly, they are just there to add flavor to the clue theme of the set. Clue as in the board game, not clue as in clue tokens, although they are clue tokens as well. But because you can pay 2 to sacrifice and draw a card, the same as any clue, is just really good flavor. Their actual effects, I'm not entirely sure about. We do see Topiary Panther here. This is the land cycler of the set. And so, obviously you're going to be green base, but then you can tutor up any basic land. Escape Tunnel is the evolving wilds of the format. So you can tap to tutor any basic land out of your deck, but it also has the caveat that if you have your colors all right, you can sacrifice it to make something 2 or less unblockable. Honestly, that's not a bad card in our deck, because with Haunted Bone Brute, that disguise comes in as a 2/2 creature. We could sacrifice Escape Tunnel, make it unblockable, pay 2 mana, reveal the disguise, and hit them for 6 unblockable damage. However, the card I'm most interested in this pack is going to be Deadly Complication. It is Rakdos, so black-red. That is more of the suspect aggro archetype, not necessarily disguise, but it is just a very good card. For 3 mana, destroy target creature, straight up murder, or you have the option of also putting a +1 counter on a creature you control, on a suspected creature you control, and then have it no longer become suspect, so that way it can block or whatever. It is at sorcery speed, so you're going to have to do that before combat. But that +1 counter, if it's put on, say, a disguised creature, when that creature flips over, that +1 counter will still remain, because your creature does not leave the battlefield when you reveal the disguise. It simply flips over and reveals the front. So any counters, any enchantments, any equipment on the card will stay on the card when that disguise is revealed. So we're going to go ahead and grab Deadly Complication here. Look possibly into going more of a suspect route. Alright, so this pack shows us another returning mechanic in Murders at Karlov Manor, and that is split cards, such as Hustle and Bustle. We're not really either of those colors, however we might be red. And they all have the split mana cost, so even though I am red-black, I could still play this card using straight red for the colored symbols, and I could force an attack or a block, and I could get that overrun effect there on the Bustle side as well. So even though I'm not in either of those 2 guild pairs, I can still make use of this card simply because I'm in at least one of the 3 colors. Alley Assailant is another one of those disguise cards. When it is turned face up, you leech 3 life off of your opponent. I mean, sure, it's good, but 6 mana to flip it. I guess if you don't have anything else to do. Um, Escape Tunnel, also very good. Braggart, when it attacks, you may suspect it. Okay, so he's essentially a 5/5 menace for 5. I think let's play around with Ally Assailant. I'm not a dedicated disguise deck, but really the only card I have in there that doesn't go with that plan is Deadly Complication, so I could still go white-black. I haven't really made up my mind on the second color yet, but I do know that I'm going to be on black, so something like Slimy Dual Leech would be a good card. At the beginning of combat, a creature with power 2 or less, which once again, all of the disguised creatures are going to be power 2 when they are in that morph state. So you can give one of those +1 and Death Touch until end of turn, and like I mentioned before, that effect will stay on the card once you reveal the disguise. Coerced to Kill is in this pack. I'm not necessarily Dimir, but I'm not necessarily not Dimir either. This is an enchantment that can make something into a 1/1 Death Touch Assassin. More importantly, you can cast it on your opponent's creature to turn it into your 1/1 Death Touch Assassin, because this is a mind control spell as well. And also of note, this is the card that they used the artwork for the quick draft splash page on Arena. So I just really wanted to point that out more than anything. I think I'm going to take the Dual Leech here because of the 2 power matters, which is really good in the Orzhov archetype. I haven't really decided which way I'm going to go yet. Hopefully pack 2 will decide. And I just noticed that Connecting the Dots is a rare that is still in this pack. Whenever a creature attacks, exile the top card of your library face down, and then at any point you can discard your hand to put all of those into your... Okay, so it's basically a Bomat Courier, but without the body. Not bad, honestly. I don't think it really has a place in an aggressive deck. It's more for a long-term like control shell, I think. I don't know. It's kind of weird because you have to attack to get the trigger, but if you're focused on attacking, then you're not really focused on the trigger. I don't know. It seems like a 2-drop aggro creature would be better in an aggro deck. And if you're not in an aggro deck, then you're not going to be attacking to trigger it. So I don't really know. I don't know. Anyway, Dual Leech, next pack. Alright, well, there is no black in this pack at all, but we do have Goblin Mask Maker, which is going to be really good for our disguise creatures. Whenever Mask Maker attacks, face down spells, aka your disguise creatures, cost 1 less to cast. So I think we're going to definitely go ahead and slam that. Maybe not marry Rakdos at this point, but definitely head that way. Speaking of which, there's a lot of red in this pack. Repeat Offender is the only black card and a good suspect card. For 2/1, for 2 is okay, but you can pay 3 to put a +1 counter on it if it is suspected, otherwise suspect it. So for 3 mana, you can just continually pump this creature up bigger and bigger. A very good late game mana sink. Let's see, what else do we have? Innocent Bystander, whenever it's dealt 3 or more damage, investigate. I don't know. Gearbane Orangutan. ETB, destroy an artifact or sack an artifact to make it a 4/4. I don't really have a whole lot of artifacts to sack with it, so it would just be ETB Naturalize, which is kind of situational. Um, Prime helps whenever you sack an artifact. Once again, I don't have artifacts. Red-handed. Gain control of a creature. Untap it. Suspect it. So it's an act of treason. I mean, honestly, Repeat Offender is about the only thing here that would go in the deck. Unfortunately. Ooh. Ouch. Nothing here. However, I will take Slam Against Humanity for my collection just because you can have any number of cards named Slam Against Humanity in your deck. So I really, really, really want to make just a Slime Against Humanity deck just to see what happens. Alright, so here we have Shady Informant has wheeled around from our first pack. It is a Rakdos disguise creature. When it dies, deal 2 damage to any target. So if it does die in combat, okay. We also have Concealed Weapon, which is an interesting equipment that is also a disguise creature. So you can put it face down as a 2/2 ward 2, but then at any point you can pay the disguise cost, flip it back up, attach it to something to give it +3 power, and it be an equipment from then on. So I think that is really neat. And I kind of want to see how that plays out. Case of the Shattered Pact did wheel around, but what's this? +3 first strike and investigate. Okay, that's not terrible. Sure. I mean, it's a combat trick. Let's see. Agency Corner, sack a creature, draw a card. If it was suspected, draw 2. Or Macabre Reconstruction, return to Graveyard Recursion. Okay. I think I'm going to go for the Graveyard Recursion. I mean, Agency Corner is good, I suppose, as a 3/6 body for 5. But I think we're going to go with the Recursion here. The only color is Rebel Belt Braggart. So let's do that. And the chase is on again to pack 2, where we get 2 rares. Aurelia Law Above, a white-red angel with a whole lot of words. Unfortunately, I'm not Boros. Or Conspiracy Unraveler, which I'm not really Dimir either. Flying, you may collect evidence 10 rather than pay the mana cost per spells. So essentially lets you cast stuff for free as long as you have a filled graveyard. Neither of those really help me out here. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more, deal 3 damage or leech 3 life from your opponent. I mean, it's possible I could splash white for Aurelia. I mean, that's might not be a bad call. Soul Enervation is mono black removal. Whenever creature cards leave your graveyard, leech a life. I don't really have a whole lot of ways of leaving your graveyard. I mean, I've got the Macabre Reconstruction, but that's really it. I think we're going to take Aurelia here and look at possibly splashing a white for that. Here we get Branch of Vitu-Ghazi. This is a land that is also a disguise creature. So for that 3 mana, you can play it face down as a 2/2. You can attack with it all you want. And then when you get done attacking with it, if it gets stonewalled by bigger creatures, flip it face up, start using it for mana to pump out some of the bigger stuff. I don't like that it's colorless, though. If it was just like a bad mana filter, I think that would be better. Colorless, I don't know if I can really do it. Let's see. Person of Interest. 4 mana for 2 2/2s. One that has Menace. Okay. Vengeful Tracker. Whenever opponent sacrifices an artifact, shock them. Clues are a big deal in this set. So honestly, that might not be a bad call. Caught red-handed. Yeah, we saw that. Gain control. Act of treason. Gotcha. I think we're going to try out Vengeful Tracker. Clues are a big deal in this set. Sacrificing artifacts, that damage could add up. Another Goblin Mask Maker. We see the Golgari signpost card with Insidious Roots. Let's see. Rot Farm Mortipede whenever creatures leave your graveyard. I don't really have a way of doing that. Alley Assailant, we saw that before. Agency Corner, we've seen him before. Sanguine Savior is an Orzhov creature. Flying lifelink whenever it's turned face up. Something else against lifelink. Okay. If I was on Orzhov, that would be an amazing pick here. But I think, honestly, I'm going for Mask Maker. I do have a lot of disguise cards in my deck, and so having him around to make them cheaper might be worth it. I don't know if I want Mask Maker number 3, though. What else do we have? Extract Confession. Collect Evidence 6, so you can remove cards from your graveyard with total mana value 6 to make each opponent sacrifice a creature. If you collected evidence, then it's their greatest power creature. So it is removal, but it's not really very good removal. Cerebral Confiscation, Thoughtseize, okay. Undergrowth Recon, a mythic in green. Beginning of your upkeep, return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. Very good if you've got a lot of Surveil or Self-Mill or whatever to get lands back out of your graveyard. Unfortunately, that does not do anything with our deck. Once again, we have Course to Kill, Dimir, and Kroll Whipcracker for Golgari. We're neither of those, unfortunately, so I think I really don't have a whole lot of removal. We'll try Extracted Confession. It might do something, it might not. Here we get Cerebral Confiscation again, the Thoughtseize type effect, or Galvanize, 2 damage, or 2 mana for 3 damage. If you've drawn an extra card this turn, deal 5 instead. Clue tokens, great way of gaining that extra card to trigger Galvanize. I don't really have that, but still having that Lightning Strike is still good. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really have a lot of removal. I kind of need it. Here we get Extracted Confession, Chases On, or Public Thoroughfare. Enters tapped. Sack unless you tap an artifact or land. So basically you have to pay 1 mana to cast this land. But it taps for any color. Having Aurelia the Law above, this does help us splash into that white. So I think we're definitely going to be taking that. No More Lies is an Azorius counterspell. Curious Cadaver is our Dimir signpost card. Sacrificing clues, returning it from the graveyard. Very good. Unfortunately, the only card I have on color here is Basilica Stalker, so that's what we're going to grab. Another Slime Against Humanity. Okay, we've seen 2. 3. The only thing really on color is going to be Cerebral Confiscation or Lead Pipe. I suppose we'll take the Lead Pipe. It does have that clue effect, like we said, that will help you draw a second card. Now that I have Galvanize, that clue effect is really going to be helpful. Caught Red-Handed, Repeat Offender, Slime Against Humanity number 4. Alright. So really the only pick is going to be Repeat Offender. As a critter, I mean, Caught Red-Handed, 5 mana for a 1-turn treason effect. It's not much. Okay, Repeat Offender again. Really nothing. Mortipede, I don't really have any way of getting creatures out of my graveyard, so it's not really going to trigger. It's just going to be a 3-4 for 4. Or I can take the 3-6 for 5 that I can actually use to draw an extra card to then trigger Galvanize. So I think we're going to go ahead and take the corner here. Confiscation is the only thing on color. ×2. Pack 3. Alright, our rare for the pack is Lamplight Phoenix. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4 to return it to the battlefield. So as long as you've got cards in your graveyard, it just doesn't die. I'm okay with that. What else we have here is Undercity Eliminator. ETB, sacrifice something to exile opponent's creature. Toxin Analysis gives Death Touch and investigates for that clue token. Galvanize, once again, 3 damage for 2 mana. Escape Tunnel, I kind of want, but I can't pick it here. And then Hustle and Bustle again. So, yeah, Phoenix is definitely our pick here. I hope some of this other stuff wheels around. I don't know, we'll see. We get Pride of the Whole Clade. If only I was on green, this would be amazing. Unfortunately, not. So what else do we got here? Cornered Crook. You may sacrifice an artifact to shock or to bolt something. Okay, I like that. Suspicious Detonation. If you've sacrificed an artifact this turn, it costs 3 less. So pay 2 to sacrifice a clue, and then you pay 2 for Suspicious Detonation to deal 4 damage to something. Okay. Or our Shady Informant. Slime number 5. Here we get another Cornered Crook. Okay. What else do we got here? 5 mana. I don't really want too many of those. I've already got quite a few 5-drops here. Another Case of the Shattered Pact would be good for pulling out Plains for Aurelia. However, it would never get solved. It would literally just be pay 2 mana to Plains cycle. Unscrupulous Agent. Exile a card from your opponent's hand. Slice from shadows. Creature gains -X until end of turn. Black Fireball. Alright, I do like the sound of that. Removal is removal. And it's at instant speed. So yeah, let's go ahead and take Slice from the Shadows here. Let's see how the Black Fireball works. Galvanize. Toxin Analysis for Death Touch. Torch the Witness deals twice X damage to a creature. I mean, if Fireball is good, then double Fireball is better, right? Plus Investigate? Sure. Harry Dronesmith makes a Thopter every turn to attack with. That then sacrifices. So, very good for Izzet, that cares about sacrificing artifacts. But I'm going with the Fireball here. Okay, we're back to normal packs. We've got no black to speak of. Soul Search, if I was on Orzhov, might be okay. Mortipede, I'm not very thrilled with. Felonious Rage. Creature gains +2 and haste. When a creature, and then when it dies this turn, create a detective. So a very good combat trick to possibly make something hasty, get it killed, end up with a detective. Not bad. Rubber Belt Braggart. I've already got too many 5-drops as it is, so I think I'm passing on him. Nothing else in the pack, so Rage it is. Break Out for Gruul. Riftburst Hellion for Gruul. The only black is Mortipede. Suppose I could put my thinking cap on, but I don't really have a whole lot of detectives, so I don't know how good that would be. So yeah, Mortipede, I guess. Here we find Persuasive Interrogators, a very good finisher for black clue decks. I don't really have a whole lot of clues, so I don't know how well that would do in my deck. Um, but I mean, it is just a 5/6 for 6 regardless, so it's not bad. Ally Assailant, uh, 3 mana for a 2/2 ward 2, flip it up to leech 3 life. I think we're just going to go with that. Okay, Ally Assailant. Prime Novelist, really good if I had that Harry Dronesmith. Because whenever you sacrifice an artifact, those Thopters, you sacrifice something at the end of the turn. So every turn you'd get a Thopter to attack with, and then it sacrifices, puts a +1 counter on Crime Novelist. Very good synergies there. However, I am not Izzet. Innocent Bystander, I guess I grabbed just for a chump blocker. I don't really think I want another Ally Assailant. It's just way too much mana investment. So we'll go ahead and grab Bystander for the chump blocker. Maybe I'll get a clue out of him. Maybe I'll just trade with something and save myself some damage. Okay, Confiscation does that Thoughtseize effect. Toxin Analysis gives Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn, plus investigates for a clue token. No brainer there. Alright, so Shady Informant did wheel around, as did Suspicious Detonation. I think we're going to go ahead and take the pseudo removal spell here. Yeah, none of those, so I guess we'll take the Shattered Pact just because I could actually cast that. Neither of these, so we'll just grab something for the collection. And Braggart is our pick. Alright, so time to build our Rakdos Disguise deck. Let's see. So first of all, do we want Aurelia? I will say that it says whenever a player attacks. So if he attacks me with, say, 3 or even 5 creatures, then Aurelia would still trigger, and I would draw a card and possibly leech 3 life off of my opponent. So, I mean, Aurelia is a good card. I think we'll just go ahead and keep the 1 planes and the Thoroughfare in just to get Aurelia off of that. 14, 15, that's 16 lands. That's usually where I like to be. Recommended is 17. However, I find that I get flooded a lot, even at 16 lands. So I just go with 16, and that is where I will keep things. As for the rest of the deck, I have 12 cards to cut. Case of the Shattered Pact. Do I keep it in just to tutor the planes for Aurelia? That is the question. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of the stuff on our top end here. Braggart is just a 5/5 for 5. Menace, yes, but I'm not really the suspect deck, so I don't think he does a whole lot for me. Detonation, I definitely want. Basilica Stalker, but the Disguise flips it into a 3/4 flyer. I actually might need the flyer. I don't have any defense against flying, so I think we need to keep him in just for that. Cornered Crook, sacrifice an artifact or aka clue token to deal 3 damage to something. I really do need that. Agency Corner, I really don't think I can just be sacrificing creatures willy-nilly, so I think we go ahead and cut him. The Dual Leech I do kind of like. Mortipede I have no use for. Reconstruction, maybe. Confiscation, I mean, Thoughtseize is good, but I need to cut cards. Complication I'm definitely keeping. Phoenix I'm definitely keeping. Chase. Maybe I have more clues in this deck than I thought. But having that clue token to sacrifice for detonation is pretty good. Bone Brood I definitely want. Assailant, I don't know, I might go ahead and cut one of those. Tracker will keep because of the clue tokens for my opponent. Bystander might trade up. Galvanized, yes. Concealed Weapon, I want to see how that works out. Exile, sure. Repeat Offender, maybe we cut one of those. Just until we see how much late game mana sink I have. That might be the wrong play, but I do have a lot of 2-drops that I might be able to do. Extract a Confession, just sacrifice something at random. It's great on 2 when they only have like 1 creature out, but late game, well, you can make them sacrifice their biggest thing with collecting evidence. So maybe, sure. Lead Pipe will keep in just for the sacrifice effect. I don't know really if I'm going to ever equip it on anything. Toxin Analysis, definitely. Felonious Rage, yeah, I just kind of picked that because it was there. Mask Maker, I do like the Disguise, and then Fireball and Double Fireball. Alright, so I need to cut 3 more cards. And this is where having you all here on stream with me would really help. You could let me know which cards you think are just bad and need to be kicked out, and which cards really work with the deck. I do stream at 10 p.m. Eastern daily. We'll do drafts, we'll do constructed, we'll do whatever you want. But I need to figure out 3 more cards to cut. But I think we're just gonna have to cut it. I've already got a really high top end. I've got a lot of disguise cards that are going to be using my late game mana, so it's not like I can really cast it on curve. If I do, it would be after a Phoenix that can't get its effect anyway, or after a disguise card. But if I put down a disguise card, I'm probably going to want to keep the mana open to flip it. So I think Dual Leech would cut. Macabre Construction, I really do like Graveyard Recursion, but I just need to cut cards. And Shattered Pact. I've got the Plains, I've got the Thoroughfare. I only need one. I only need one of them. If I get Aurelia, I get Aurelia. If I don't, I don't. I don't know. But I think this is what I'm going to go with for our Rakdos Disguise deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What cards should I have cut? What cards should I have kept? Should I have drafted those 5 slimes and tried it out? I really just wanted to see how many slimes I would see in a draft, because that does sound kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe we'll get one of those later on. But for right now, this is what we're going with. Hit that like button if you want to see more content like this, because I would certainly like to give it to you. And let's get into some gameplay. See how this pile of cards actually does. Well, we found our plains. Unfortunately, we didn't find any mountains. So mulligan. Alright, we've got Thoroughfare, we've got all of our colors, we're good to keep this hand. So what do we throw away? On turn 2, I will be casting a Galvanize for 3 damage, Extract a Confession to remove their creature, or Repeat Offender. I'll probably just be casting Public Thoroughfare, honestly, because on 3 I'm going to want to put down Haunted Bone Brute. So I think we'll get rid of Extract a Confession. That still leaves me with a removal option. And we'll see what opponent does. Mistway Spy. It's just a 1/1 flyer. Alright. Hey, we found our planes too. galvanize it. Let's go ahead and put down a repeat offense. At the moment, a 1/1 flyer isn't all that bad, considering what else might be in his deck. Alright, looks like nothing. Alright, so what combat trick could he have? Unfortunately, I don't really know enough about the format yet to answer that question. So I think we'll just go with Suspecting Repeat Offender. Swinging at Menace. Okay. Opponent didn't have a trick, or at least we played around whatever trick they might have had. Okay, they are on white-blue detectives. So now we can actually do something fun. With Deadly Complication, we did draw that. We said we can destroy target creature and put a +1 counter on a suspected creature I control. So we can choose one or both. So we'll destroy the Private Eye, and we'll target the Repeat Offender, giving it a +1/+1 counter, and I will decline having it become no longer suspected because I do want it to still be suspected, because that way I can keep pumping it up. Oh yeah, second one. Oh, very nice, opponent. Alright. So let's go ahead and pay for our Thoroughfare. Might as well destroy that one too. Although I could have just backed in and saved that. Maybe destroying that was a bad call. I still could have swung in because the suspect gives it Menace. I could have spent the 3 mana to pump it up to deal 4 damage instead of 3. Or I could have put down the Bone Brute. Okay, so he's got himself a 2/2 Ward 2. Could be anything. He's attacking in. Alright. Well, I could slice it. Oh, cannot be countered. Very nice. This includes the ward ability. So I can actually cast Slice in the Shadows. X equals 2. Give their face down card -2. Yep, we'll go ahead and use that. I will decline to pay the ward 2 because I can't get countered anyway. Still kill their disguise creature, which happened to be a Bubble Smuggler. Throw down Mask Maker. Dramatic Accusation. This creature does not untap. Alright. So I have actually 2 disguise creatures here. Let's go ahead and attack in with our Mask Maker. Of note, even if Mask Maker blocks, gets blocked, dies, whatever, that trigger still happens. So even if he dies, all of my face down creatures are still 2 less to cast. So I can cast that one face down, I can cast that one face down, and still have 2 mana open. Oh, 1 mana open. Thought I had 6 lands. Oh well. So now I know what these cards are. Opponent does not. So he's going to have to guess which one to block. And if he guesses wrong, I might just have a kill here. Let's see how he blocks. Alright, he blocks Ally Assailant, which means that we can cast... Well, I don't really want to do that. So we will manually tap. Chase is on my face down card here. Let's see if opponent has some kind of counter spell. I'm only presenting 6 damage, so that's not necessarily lethal. Okay, he's gonna go enchanting his spy to kill my assailant. That is fine. He can do that. Does he have another trick? And he's going to investigate. Alright. He investigates. Let's go ahead and show our opponent what he has won, shall we? An all expenses paid trip to the next game. Alright, I mean... Ish. We've got the lead pipe on a 3-drop. I don't know. I probably should mulligan this hand, but oh, let's see what happens. We can lead pipe. So I can put Assailant on 3 as a 2/2 Ward 2 or as a 3/3, but his ability does not trigger unless I do the Ward 2. So he's got a 2/1, so putting it down as a 2/2 doesn't really do a whole lot. I should have done Thoroughfare there, but whatever. We'll throw out my standard. I misplayed my land. I should have played Thoroughfare there and just passed the turn. Because I am definitely playing Assailant here. The question is as a 3/3 or as a ward creature. If I play it as the 3/3, it enters tapped, which means it's not going to be able to block anyway. So I think we'll just give it the face down treatment. And just pass the turn. Opponent is on Simic, it seems. Okay. I don't know that we beat that. He just gets a free creature every turn. That is something. I don't know what that is, but that's something. Alright, well, let's go ahead and complicate that. I've got enough left over for Toxin Analyst, so I think we just pass the turn. Oh boy. So he's probably gonna swing. No? Alright. Let's go ahead and drop Thoroughfare. And we'll whip our pipe. To Bystander because I kind of want him to die. Because that way I can leech a life off of my opponent. So we'll kind of stay on the defensive for now. Kind of at this board stall. He doesn't want to attack into my things. I don't want to attack into his things. Alright, unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to cast the Crook and kill one of his morph creatures. Do I just attack? I mean, I've got enough for the disguise. But then that would be like my only trick, and then he just swings back at me. Ah, whatever, let's go. You only die once. Well, actually, that's not true, because I have 3 losses to give. So we might as well go ahead and get the first one out of the way. Let's go ahead and leech 3 life off of our opponent, and in response, they will pump their ward creature so that it doesn't die, and or flip it over. Yep, they get the pump. That's fine. We got that trick out of their hand. We'll leech another life off of the lead pipe. And I'll just take a bunch of damage next turn. Oh no, he has a counter spell! Oh! Well, I mean, we knew that was a possibility. So he gets a big creature, and I lose mine. So, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I don't have the extra mana to pay for it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna die here. I mean, I was planning on sacrificing the lead pipe anyway. I might as well do it to draw a card. That doesn't really help me. I've got some good combat tricks. If only I had some creatures to cast them on. Sure. Let's extract a confession. Let's collect some evidence. 5, 6. Go. So that's going to kill his 4/4. But I'm not targeting his cards. I'm targeting him. He has to sacrifice 1, so that gets around the ward 2. It's possible he has another counterspell, but... And he does. Okay. Sure, I'll pay it. That dies. His other card now has Menace, which I suppose is fine. Unfortunately... I don't have anything else I can do, so we'll just go ahead and pass the turn and start taking our beats. Oh, it was a Topiary Panther. Oh man, that would have been terrible if he would have gotten that thing flipped over. Oh shoot, I dodged a bullet on that one. But what's this one? Still 2/2. Not sure. ETBs collect evidence, create a Thopter. Alright. And I draw Galvanized. I think we'll go ahead and shoot down his other morph creature. And that one was Bubble Smuggler. Also would have been very devastating had he flipped it up. Alright. And yeah, we're kind of done here. So we have made 2 correct choices. after the blunder of an attack, which I kind of knew was going to happen. In those Mexican standoffs, usually the person who fires first is the one who gets the worst of it, but at some point you just got to pull the trigger. Okay. That's weird that he had to manually tap that. So we know that he needs that blue up for... Oh, okay, just flip it. Alright, so he's going to get some clue tokens. Alright, well, we'll take some damage. He's going to get a clue. And I draw Aurelia. Okay. Flying, vigilance, and haste. Let's attack. There's no reason not to. Alright, well, that didn't last very long. She is now a 1/1. She still has all her abilities, though? Oh, it just changes the base power and toughness. Alright. Deals damage equal to its power. Okay, so that is a bite spell, not a fight spell. So giving Death Touch to Aurelia would not do anything. Nor would giving her +3 power. So... I think I still do it, though, just for the clue token. Four, 5 damage, down to 2. And we get another land. GG, opponent. You drew me out. Oh, I had another clue token. I could have... shoot. I had another card I could have drawn. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because even if I did get something on the ground, he still had 2 damage in the air, and I didn't have really any way of stopping that. So, I don't know. If I would have drawn a creature, he would have just swung around it. I was still dead there either way. Wow. Okay, I've got a lot of repeat offenders here. I've got my Bone Brute. If I get another mana, preferably a mountain, I could be in business. Notice I said if I get another mana. As we have seen on this channel, Arena does love to screw me. Although we did get Thoroughfare, so, and a mountain. Alright, well, I guess that means we have passed the screw stage and have gone into the flood stage. Opponent is on Orzhov, which we were planning on possibly doing with our disguised creatures. Oh, dang. Opponent's not playing. Do I do Repeat Offender number 2? Do I do Bone Brute? I do not do Phoenix because it could just get bolted and then it's just dead. Let's do Stalker. I would rather him kill that than my Bone Brute. Block, block, block! Oh, it's flying. Let's go for Repeat Offender number 2. need to get rid of that Savior, though. And really, Phoenix is the only thing I have that can do that. Alright, we're getting him to use his removal at least. I do have the 4 mana in my graveyard now for Phoenix. So I think that should hopefully stop him from attacking. Gives me enough mana for the chases on. Let's go ahead and end our turn, see what opponent does. Alright, he's going to suspect Repeat Offender. He can still pump it, so that's essentially a 3-2. So I have to remember that Repeat Offender is a 3-2. I think we go ahead and double block it. He's going to try to kill my face down card. We'll give him first strike instead. Alright, and we get Aurelia Law above. I still think this is the better play. So we'll offer the trades here. Okay. We got that out of his hand. I think we just hold back then. So if I do Suspicious Detonation on 4, like second clue, cast this for 2, gives me 2 mana left. If I draw a land, I could still do chases on. Or pop one of my disguises. Sure, let's go ahead and do that. Land. So yeah, we'll go ahead and detonate on the Savior. Then we'll go to combat. See what he blocks. Nothing. Then we'll do some extra damage. Makeshift binding on Bone Brute. Yep, that'll happen. Oh well. And it didn't die, so opponent doesn't lose 3 life. Oh, lo and behold, his other card was a Sanguine Savior. That's okay, though. We'll go ahead and go to combat. We'll still swing out. Let's see. If I flip that, I've got 2 mana left over. We'll just go to blocks. Put that as a face down creature. Keep up chases on. I don't know why. He's gonna make me exile it, so we'll cast it instead. At least get my clue token out of it. Okay, so if I do Torch the Witness, that leaves me with 3 mana left over. That's not enough to really do anything. Yeah, we'll just go swinging. We'll let him block if he wants to. He does not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I could do 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm 1 mana short. Crap. Alright. Then we'll turn that one face up. Put him down to 3. Sure, we'll keep that on top. Why not? And so now, as long as my ally assailant survives combat... Oh, well, no, he's about to gain 2 life from Savior. Never mind. I am going to have to hit him for 2 more damage. Which I can do because I've got 6 power in the air. Alright! We made it through that one somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, but we managed to make it through. That is a lot of mana. But I do have Mask Maker into Ally Assailant, so I really do like that. So turn 1, 2, and then 3 I have a removal spell. I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's keep it. Okay. I'm good on mana now. Actually, I do kind of need 1 more to flip him, but I'm not going to be flipping him anytime soon. Wow. Okay. Okay. Enough mana. I'm good. We'll go ahead and attack. He can block it, but he can't kill it. We'll get Ally Assailant Disguise. They went this way. Search your library for a land onto the battlefield tap and investigate. Oh! He's throwing up some Naya colors. Alright. Well... That Hedge Whisperer is about to get very annoying. Because he's got the 4 mana, he's almost got the evidence to collect. So I think we need to kill that while we can. Unfortunately, I don't have a suspect creature to give a +1 counter to, so it's just a murder. Just a murder. I really want something that investigates this turn. Because if I can cast and get a clue token now, that gives me a bolt off of my crook on turn 5. So I really want to draw something that investigates. Opponent's cracking some clues, getting some cards. Alright. What are they searching for? Lands, maybe? Whenever he attacks, collect evidence to put a +1 counter on a... Okay, Arena! Enough land! Holy crap! Well, no bolt, because I haven't found anything that investigates yet, so I just get a 5/4 for 4. I can stop attacking now, because all my stuff dies. Hopefully that stops him from attacking too, unless he's got a way to deal with my 5/4, in which case I'm absolutely screwed, because I've done nothing but draw land this game. Alright, so cannot be blocked by creatures that don't have a name, which would be my ally assailant. So if he attacks with Gadabout, my assailant cannot block it. Of course, my 5/4 can. Alright, so let's go ahead and deal 4 damage to something. How about that guy? Alright. If he attacks with Gadabout, honestly, I think I just take it. Ooh. Enters the battlefield, put X+1 counters on it, number of other creatures you control. That's very big. That's very big. Okay. Okay. All right. The chase is on. The only problem is I cannot flip him and cast chase because he's freaking 6 mana to turn face up. Eventually, though, I'll be able to do it because I'm still working off the lands from my opening hand. Well, that sucks. I was planning on blocking with him this turn. Alright. Sure. Go ahead and reveal. Leech 3 life. That'll let me block Gadabout. Oh, damn. He's just got all the answers, doesn't he? Alright, well, we'll try to minimize the damage a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Yep. Oh my god. Alright, well, suppose we've got an innocent bystander here. Let's see what happens. I suppose we'll take the stranger you know. +1 counter. And trample. I'm pretty sure that's going to kill me. And the trample negates the bystander's ability because it's only going to take 1 damage from the trample. Oh, if that would have been the one that gives Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn, I actually might have... I mean, I still would have died from the trample damage. But no, because that would have killed the Warden. And so he wouldn't have dealt that damage to me. And I would have gained 5 life. So I actually did have an out there. I just didn't draw a Toxin Analysis. Hey, there it is. Alright, so... I mean, we're keeping this one. We've got Vengeful Tracker, so let's see how good that does. And we've got our Innocent Bystander, Stalker on 3 as a disguise creature. And we've got our Plains if we happen to find Aurelia later on. Let's go with innocent bystander. Green, white. Alright. Let's go for some attacks. We'll go ahead and morph that. Well, disguise. Whatever. Same thing. Tricolor. Okay. Private eye. Well, I can't do detonation here, but I can do slice X3. Get rid of that. So that just sounds like trouble. Maybe I'll draw a land next turn? Or did I draw them all last game? There we go. Alright, so that is a 3/4. So I am actually okay with either one of these blocks. That does turn up for 5 mana, which I do have. So let's go ahead, go to combat. I am okay with either one of these trades. Okay, so he's going to block the morph creature, so we'll turn it face up. Win the combat there. If he blocks the bystander, then I do toxin analysis and win the combat anyway. Alright, sure. Bystander not so good against Essence of Antiquity. But, I mean, I can still toxin analysis, but then I don't draw the card off of it, or I don't get the investigate trigger from it dying. So I don't think we use detonation here. I don't think we use analysis here. I think we just go to combat, swing with Basilica Stalker, gain 1 life, surveil, a mountain. Don't think I need. Actually, yeah, because that would let me trigger Repeat Offender twice. I think I do keep the mountain on. So let's go ahead and do Repeat Offender. I could do Vengeful Tracker, but he hasn't shown any clues yet. He's shown some detectives, but no clues. So I think we keep Repeat Offender open with the 3 mana to suspect it. And then next turn I can make it into a 4/3. If he wants to attack with Essence of Antiquity, that's fine. Fight it. Okay, he's going to tap and stun. Okay, sure. But now he has investigated. So I probably should have cast Vengeful Tracker first, unfortunately. I do miss 2 damage there. Oh well. Whenever a detective enters the battlefield or turn face up, put a +1 counter on it. To solve, control 3 or more detectives and investigate whenever you would make a token. Okay, so he's going to be casting some. That's not a detective. If he draws himself out, that becomes a 10/10 flying vigilance. Okay. Before I go to my turn, let's go ahead and put a +1 counter on Repeat Offender. Unscrupulous Agent. You have opponent discard a card. An island, sure. And we'll pass the turn. After Meth Analyst, mill 3, sack it to return all lands to the battlefield. Oh, and it's a detective? Cool. So it's a 2/4. Not bad. Alright, and opponent is now out of cards. Oh, they're going to shock themselves to draw a card. Sure, that works. No attacks. Alright. I think we just win here. Hello, Aurelia. So nice to meet you today. So, even without Aurelia, I still planned on doing a full assault here. 3 damage from Repeat Offender would definitely go through. He would block, or 3 damage from the Basilica Stalker. He might double block Repeat Offender, in which case Toxin Analysis kills 2 creatures. And then, probably kill Bystander. No, he'd probably kill the Tracker. So 3 damage would go through, plus 3 for Stalker would be 6 damage, would put him down to 1. And like the Toxin Analysis would get rid of most of his board, and then I would just win on next turn's attack. But yeah, Aurelia coming down, doing that Lightning Helix, plus drawing me a card. Yeah, that's a good card when it attacks. Oh my goodness. Hello, Mana Screw. I can cast a Lead Pipe, and then nothing else for the rest of the game. We'll mulligan that. And again, all swamps, but at least I've got some other stuff I can do. I have to keep this. As bad as it sounds, I think we tuck the Phoenix. I mean, if I would have had Swamp Mountain, I keep the Phoenix and tuck probably Stalker, or maybe Extract a Confession. But, I mean, the chances of me drawing Mountain off the top, well, now that I've tucked it, is probably 100%. Very aggressive play from my opponent. Let's go ahead and put them on a mulligan too. So at least we're on even footing. They exile a land. Okay. Innocent Bystander. Dang, all the swamps. We'll go in, we'll offer the trade. I wouldn't take it. I could extract a confession here. But I think I'd rather get the creature down. Oh. Alright, let's see, I need 5 for that. So let's go ahead and extract something here. He kills Bystander, I mean, honestly, and I'm still left in a position that I can't do anything. Another one. Wow. All right. We'll go ahead and make the trade there. Apparently, we're both playing monocolored decks. All right, we're keeping that on top because I need amount. Oh, God. Let's go ahead and detonate one of the orangutans. That gives me enough to extract a confession. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, so this is going to hurt. A lot. So 5, 6. So he has to sacrifice his braggart. I have to stop attacking, right? Alright, well. I'm starting to think opponent's just mono red. I'm starting to think I am. What the heck is this? Arena, come on! So yeah, I have to block. There we go. All right. Thank you, Arena. You are most helpful. Okay, so he is digging. Revengeful Tracker, okay. That doesn't really do much for me because I don't have any clues. But that does mean that I cannot sacrifice a clue token. I don't have any suspected creatures. That is a sorcery, so I do have to cast that on my turn. So I might as well just go ahead and kill the Vengeful Tracker so that I don't forget and crack a clue. Person of interest makes 2 2/2s, so I am dead on board if he survives this turn, which he will not. We'll just go ahead and give that -1/-1, just so that I don't have to worry about accidentally giving him a card. We'll go to combat and finish him.
Finish him.
Hey, there's our Bone Brute. I was starting to think Aurelia was my pack 1 pick 1. I actually like this hand. Yeah, this is a good keep. We've got Repeat Offender on 2, Bone Brute on 3. I'm happy. I'm not so happy anymore. Alright, so he's got a Tunnel Tipster. Maybe I should have done Vengeful Tracker there instead. With Tipster means that he is going to be on a disguise plan, because he's going to want to put down disguise creatures, pump up his Tipster, use its mana ability to help ramp them out, flip them over. Very good card on the green disguise plans. As we said. Alright. So I could attack with Repeat Offender, use the chases on to... I think Vengeful Tracker is going to be my play here, just because I don't think it's going to have much byplay in this match. Opponent is going to be on Disguise, not so much Clues, so having that shock effect I don't think is going to do a whole lot. Let's see what land he tutors. Swamp. Okay, he is on Golgari. So let's see. Next turn he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plays a land 6. He could get Tipster out of Galvanized range if I let it live. So I think we go ahead and shoot it down here. And then we just pass turn here. He does have a clue token out, so Vengeful Tracker might actually do some damage! That's it. Pay 2 life to draw your card. Pump Scatabout, sure. Alright. I like Repeat Offender here because it lets me leave up Chases on and Repeat Offender's ability if he doesn't attack, or Toxin Analysis if he does. Alright, interesting that he's left up all of his green. Alright, so there is no way he does not have a pump spell here. If I'm reading this correctly, he specifically left up all of his green. Green combat tricks are typically pump spells. So I am anticipating that he is going to throw out some kind of giant growth effect here. Alright. So Archdruid's Charm put a +1 counter. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So he is going to make Gadabout a 5/3 and shoot Vengeful Tracker. I can't do anything about that, but I can make sure that the Gadabout dies with the Chases on. So Tracker is still going to die, but so is Gadabout. Alright, so I am kind of leaving down my combat tricks, but I can't not progress my board state. So if he attacks, I do have Toxin Analysis still. If he does not attack, then I have my Clue token. So I still have things I can do on my opponent's turn. Oh, he flips over Basilic Stalker. Not good. I cannot block flyers. So I think this is just gonna hurt. So he gets to gain a life, surveil a card, and I have to figure out something to do against that. Let's start by drawing a card. that's something to do about that. I just need to find a white source. Alright, let's go with... The thing is, he kind of wants that to die because then he gets 2 bats. So I think I'll do 1 activate here. We'll go to combat with both of those. Then he just blocks the 2/2. Yeah, I didn't think that one through very well, did I? Yeah. Oh. I mean, I could have flipped it and killed the onlooker, but I really don't want to kill the onlooker because then he gets 2 bats out of the deal versus just the 1 power blocker. Yeah. Let's combat on his turn. Sure, I can't block flyers. At least until I draw my planes. That's not a planes. It does get rid of the Basilica Stalker, though. Ooh, jeez. Alright, so he's going to get 2 +1 counters, so he now has a 3/5 flyer. Actually, if he puts them both on onlooker, then Dual Leech can no longer pump it, so it can only be a 3/5. His best bet, honestly, would have been to put +1 on onlooker and the other +1 counter on Dual Leech. Or on Repeat Offender. Because then he could have still pumped up onlooker with the Dual Leech. What? Oh, because I made them suspect. They can't block. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't see that. Oh. Well, that is unfortunate. I suppose we've got to do this. Doesn't really do me a whole lot here, except provide a blocker. I mean, I guess I'm attacking since I can't not attack, or since I can't block with them. Alright, so he's going to exile my Phoenix. Yeah, not much I can do about that. And I draw another mountain. Well, that's not... Oh! Alright, well... I can drop the cornered crook. I don't have anything to sacrifice, so I can't shoot down the offender. I don't have my white for Aurelia. I can't block anything for the chases on. The only thing I can really do is concede, because I can't stop his flyer. I suppose I could have done chases on to pump something, used my 2 mana to draw. Maybe I drew a white spell, or planes. That plane's actually would have given me the 5 for Aurelia. Um, so I mean, I guess that was an out, but honestly, I was just dead regardless. Was that it? That was my 3rd loss? I thought that was only 2. Huh. Oh well. I guess we went 4 wins, 3 losses. Not bad considering my record is normally 3-3, and really anything above 50% is good. So we'll take it. I had fun with our disguise deck. It seemed really interesting. A lot of these mechanics seem to play in fun and unique ways. We'll see what happens in later drafts, but yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this draft format. If you've done any, what you think about murders at Karlov Manor in general. And while you're down there, put a like on this video. It really puts it through the algorithm. And shows me that you're there and you care. So yeah, go ahead, do that. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel for more content. And I will see you all in the next video.